This is my A7RII Sony camera. I was using it in this configuration with a mic like this, and I had it on a tripod, and it just went boop when I knocked it over, and suddenly the microphone no longer works. Surprise, surprise. When I took this off, I was like, okay, well, the microphone's broken, whatever. I won't be able to use the microphone because the microphone port's probably busted, which it is. However, if the microphone port gets busted on this camera, the internal mics no longer work. Isn't that dumb? Yeah, kind of dumb. This is my workspace. It's a 16-foot enclosed trailer. For this repair, I've put a HEPA filter in here to try to cycle the air so that there's not as much dust, because this is usually pretty dusty with all the tools I have in here. I've also done some precautions, like I have cats, and I put on a new shirt that doesn't have a bunch of cat hair on it so it doesn't get in the camera. I've got most of the tools I need in here. I've got a computer that I'm going to look at the repair instructions on, and let me find all the tools I'm going to need and show you what I'm going to use. This is an electric screwdriver. It's just got AAA's in it. Goes in and out, pretty useful. I've got a regular screwdriver here that extends in case I need to get into the camera somewhere. And it comes with the security Torx bits, which I don't think that the camera uses, but I have. And then this is just a normal repair kit. Comes with the anti-static bracelet, which I don't think I'll use, and the tweezers, needle nose, stuff like that. I've also got one of these anti-static Ziploc bags for the sensor, as I've seen people say that you should put it in here, one of these. Now, in my opinion, one of the most important tools for any repair is the pick. So I've got a drawer of them here. I'm going to pick a few of these out. I want a straight one. I've got these kind of dentistry tools here. This is a great tool, a little plastic scraper / prier, and a big pair of tweezers. Probably also going to want a pen or some sort of marker. I guess red will work. Also going to need some pliers, so I've got this pair here, which I think will be perfect. Alright, I've got most of my tools set up here. Got a few overflow over there, and I've got some bigger tools up there if I need them. So I think I'm ready to get started. So now I'm just gonna research. It's first step. Alright, almost forgot to remove the battery. That would have been bad. By the way, these RAV Power or third-party batteries eventually swell up. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But this battery pack has swelled up, and the Sony ones don't do that. So I'm not going to buy these again. I'm going to buy the actual Sonys. So I've got this piece of foam here. I'm just going to make a little mount so I can work on the camera easier, because right now it doesn't. It just falls over. So there we go. Just set it down like that. Now I can work on it. Alright, here we are. This is the first plate to take off. Got my electric screwdriver here. Already taken some of them out. It's not that much faster, but it's just nice not having to spin your fingers. Just make sure you don't strip them out. The last thing you want to be dealing with is a bunch of strip screws. Other thing you probably are going to want is a magnetic screwdriver, because getting all these out is not going to be fun. And I don't know if I have That one's magnetic. See that? That's what you want. You want to be able to just pop them out with the magnetic screwdriver. Now, I've got to pop this out of here. Look at that. That's easy. Yeah, you see that? Some interesting something there. Okay. Those just kind of pop up. Like I can get right behind. Oh, there it goes. Okay. That's the next part. So I figured out I actually don't have to take the rear screen off. So I'm just going to continue with taking other screws around off. I'm trying to follow a guide by this guy at CES who took one apart, but they kind of just jump cut everywhere, so you can't actually see what's going on. So I'm kind of on my own here. But first, I'm going to go get some food because you don't want to work hungry because you get shaky and you get you make bad choices. You rush things that you shouldn't. So I'm going to go get some bagels. Every now and then, I'm coming home again. Man, you can't listen to this. You can't listen to this anymore. Fucked up, man. Just want to listen to some Kanye. Alright, I got my bagels, my high fructose corn syrup, and I'm gonna eat some food now and try not to get all the crumbs on my camera. Alright. No Kanye was consumed, and I'm now ready to continue my work after I take another sip. Okay. I'm just gonna find screws and unscrew them because none of the tutorials have anything about the screws, so I'm just gonna start unscrewing shit. Okay, so I just recorded a bunch of shit that I didn't record. So, let me give you a recap. There's a bunch of screws. Here, I'll just show you where the screws are. There's a screw.
There. There's one inside the microphone chamber. There. There's one there. And there's this piece here that sits in here like this. And there's one screw right here that holds it in after you've taken off the first plate, obviously. There's one screw there, and you remove that, and then you can kind of just, with a little bit of maneuvering of this plate, you can get it to pop out. It's just hard to get a piece under it to get it free. So maybe throw on this side, this side's much easier. And then it just comes out, and that's your tripod mount, all chrome and nice looking. So just put that aside. You can also take this piece off, the viewfinder piece. It just has 4 screws in it, and then this last one is where there's a knob here. It's just like that. It has a screw through it. That one is a little stuck for me, but I just kept unscrewing it like a normal screw, and it came out. That's a special screw too, so make sure you put that with the little knob so you remember.
Holy fuck. That's like the scariest thing ever. That's what I'm talking about, is you don't let that happen. Use your muscles in a way that you're always bracing against something like this, see? I'm moving this really slowly so that I can't slip and do damage to anything. Okay, something just made a noise. I don't know what it was. Don't know where it was. Holy fucking Jesus. Holy shit, what was that? What was that? Why was it doing that? Okay. A piece of metal fell out. And so this guy was able to get this thing apart without removing this LCD ribbon cable. He had to remove this one here, but he didn't have to remove this one. I don't see how the hell that's possible. That just seems ridiculous. Because this ribbon cable's well and truly attached. If that's one way to put it. It's well attached. So unless I keep this all together and just never undo this ribbon cable and just unscrew these screws, which I guess in theory I could do, I'm gonna have to remove this otherwise. So I still can't see the spot I want to get to. If my USB port or HDMI port were damaged, that's how I would be done already, which would be sweet, but they're not. And I don't believe I can remove this whole plate or anything, although I am going to try. I also need to figure out where this went. That one's really quite a mystery to me. I have no idea where that came from. A lot of these ribbon cables, they have little like flip up levers or something that you have to undo, but it looks like you just use these little tabs on the side and just wiggle it back and forth until it comes out. Maybe. That's what I thought I was gonna do. It sure looked like it was working. Yep, there we go. There. And out. There we go. Okay. That's it. There's this piece. Okay, I'll watch some videos. So there's a hole here. So I've given up on the main board. It seems like the guy I was watching has the same issue I did. This hole here, you need a long screwdriver. I keep doing that. And there's a screw at the bottom of it. It looks like that. It's one of the plastic screws. It's not threaded for metal. And after you do that, I think the grip's just meant to come off, he said. For him, the whole fucking front grip just came off. But you gotta be really careful. You gotta wait because there's a ribbon cable in here that's attached right there. So I think I've got a... Man, I don't want to take apart this side, man. I don't need to. Do I? Fuck. So I'm kind of tempted to just leave this here and undo that and maybe take this whole panel off, which is stopping me from getting the main board off. But, hold on. Maybe I can do the whole thing now. Because... Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I've got to get all these ribbon cables out of the way. Like this big one, and these ones, and even this stuff up here. So much going on here. It's by far the most complicated thing I've ever worked on. And then this ribbon cable here, I'm hoping isn't too well attached. And is this attached? Oh, and this. Wow, man. Wow. I've never seen something so fucking interconnected. It's just nuts. And you can't move anything because these ports here are attached to this plastic bit on the other side, right here. Which I, of course, can't get out, I don't think, unless it comes up with the rest of this. Just make sure that's not true. Probably not. No, it can't. It can't. So I think I'm gonna have to watch more of the video in order to get this main board out of here. Whew, Jesus. Okay. Well, I'll be back when I figure it out. Alright. Here's the board. Let me explain to you how I got it out. So, it's sitting in here, right, kind of like this. And it's got this little tab down here sticking through a hole in this bracket here. And then it's got these connectors sticking through this plastic bit. So what you need to do is push this just in a little bit, in that way, and then that way. And that will give you just a little bit of slack over here. And then it's just not quite enough, so I kind of just pulled back on this and wiggled this back and forth until this popped out of its holder over right here, over right there. Popped out of the holder, and then you just tilt this up. Don't pull on it yet. Tilt it up, and then you'll find a little ribbon cable connected to the back here. That ribbon cable sits right there in the camera, and you need to disconnect that, and then your board is free. Pain in the fucking ass. So next, I don't even know what's next. Alright, so I think that you're probably meant to take this off before you take the main board out, because it will get rid of this bracket here and allow you to just lift the main board straight out. So that's how it's likely meant to be done. There's 2 screws in here. You'll need a long-ish screwdriver. 2 screws up top. Those 2. Man, there's no fucking way I'm gonna remember what to put back in these things. It's horrible. I should probably put these screws like... Man, I just don't know. Like all this. Fuck, man. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to edit this video and then put it back together. And like so I can watch the video first. So this is not connected anywhere, I don't think. It's got one like, yeah, see this bit here is like totally loose right now. So I think maybe it's, there's a screw down here. There's a 3rd one in the bottom right. I don't think this is... I don't think it matters, but I'll take it out anyway. Just so I have more screws to have to fucking find. It does move, but not enough. Oh, hold on. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. I think I'm okay. I think I just kind of whacked it in a spot that doesn't matter. Wow. Thank God all these ribbon connections are disconnected. And none of them got hung up on anything. Oh my God. Okay. There it is. Fuck, dude. Oh, I found it. Okay. You see that? All right. Under this glued down ribbon cable, Sony puts a hole for a screw. Fuck you, Sony. You piece of shit. There it is. Ah, okay. Well, I should probably put back. If this works, I'm going to immediately put back the shutter screws. Make sure I don't lose any of those. Okay. Oh, fuck. The one time I strip a screw, right? And the last one, the most important one. There it is. That's the screw. And there's the unit. Yes, there. That pad right there is disconnected from the circuit board. So it's no longer making contact. Which is why when I put the microphone in and kind of pressed a few times, I could get contact. Now that would... I don't think that would solely cause the entire thing to fail. Unless, because usually there's, unless that's like the ground or something. You know, something, like if it was one of the two channels, I would expect just one of the two channels to be failed. Oh, it's both pads. Okay, that's why. So it's both this pad and this pad that got torn. Oh. Okay. I found out why my internal mics aren't working. So these are special mic jacks, it looks like, and headphone jacks. And it actually, it has a little wire here that is just connected when you have nothing plugged in. But when you plug this in, you might be able to see it, it disconnects the throughput. So it comes through this jack, but then it disconnects that when you plug a mic in. And that's how it knows the mic's plugged in and how it knows to record through here. Now the problem is that when that was disconnected, the throughput still was even without here, it was still disconnected because of the broken connection on the PCB. Oh, oh man. It's actually only hanging on by one. It's got one thing connected. Alrighty. Turn on the soldering iron. This station's like made in China, so it sometimes just like doesn't turn on, which is a little bit scary. There it goes. And 355. It's heating up. Let's do 360. 380. That works. It's pretty hot actually. Oh, see, it's really dumb. Okay, 350. So here's what we're soldering. That was it. That was all it took. So we've got one pad that actually looks like it was cold soldered. Huh, or something. So what happened here is one of these pads, the two on this side, broke off of the PCB. It actually stripped the contacts on the PCB off. But the one that was broken on the other side, which was this one, just broke off of the solder between the metal and the solder, which typically it won't do. It's meant to break off of the PCB like this. And then this is the only one that was hanging on. So I have to fix this somehow. All right, that's it right there. So I've got a scrape. It's very difficult to see, but there's a that's the pad that got scraped off. There's a little trace running over to this little circle right there, and I need to scrape that and then make a connection between where the pad was meant to be, so where the piece of wire coming off of the red connector is going to go, and the little piece of wire going back to another part of the circuit board. I use this stuff. This is lead solder, or leaded. It's expensive and not great for you. That's why I have this exhaust fan running. So lead-free solder is probably better. I just have heard from some people that leaded solder is easier to work with. The last bit here. So, let's see if I can do this. Alright, I can't make it work, so I'm gonna have to jump them. I've got this board that's got some really small wire on it, so I'm gonna cut this off of here, and hopefully these are solid single core in the middle. Yeah, they are. I'll just unsolder those, and I'm gonna use these wires here to try to jump on the board instead of doing those connections, because I realize those connections are just going to fail so fast. And it's not. Alrighty. Grab that. And you are still connected. Why? Why would you still be connected? Okay, I did it. I disconnected these two. They're no longer shorted. I think that took probably almost an hour to do. So now that I've epoxied my part, it's got, and rewired it, I need to wait for this epoxy to dry. God damn, I'm glad that I didn't fuck that up. Yeah, so note that these spacers here, 1, 2, and 3, they have different labels on them. I think they're different sizes. In fact, they definitely are. So, yeah, that's important. Don't switch those around at all. You really get fucked up doing that. I'm just lucky I didn't flip it over and they all fell everywhere, because I think they're custom to this. That was really lucky. Wow. Mine, I've got, just for reference, I don't think it matters, but I've got 30 in the bottom right, 35 in the bottom left, and 45 in the top left. So I'm cutting this whole corner off from there to there. Just gonna make this really weak. But that's where I had to do all the wiring, so it has to go away. Wow, yes. Ta-da! Woo! Look at that. Barely fits in there. But it does. And now I've just gotta chop off a little bit more of something. Okay. Almost there. Oops. Yeah, just don't pull on anything too hard if it's a ribbon cable. Oh my god. Makes me want to cry. I can't believe it. That's it. I tried. I fucking tried. I tried so hard, dude. I even said it. I said don't pull too hard. Oh. I wasn't pulling. It's just the way it was twisting and fuck. That's the lesson. Just try harder to not fuck it up. God damn it. I got so fucking close. There's no way to fix a ribbon cable. You just can't. It's impossible. And this one's so complicated. Dude. No. No, man. No. Oh, no. This must be so expensive. and a replacement one for 17 bucks. It's not gonna be here till January, so another 15, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Alright, it's 2 weeks later. My new ribbon cable just arrived. I haven't touched anything or looked at anything in 2 weeks, so this reassembly just got twice as hard. Alright, I'm gonna go grab my card reader, and I've got all my footage from last time on this SD card, and I'm gonna go scroll through it quickly and see if I can figure out. The only part that I don't know where it goes is this little black. It's flexible, and it's obviously meant to prevent like contact between some metal components. And I'm not sure where it was meant to go. And I feel like I need to find that out, so off I go. There's one inside the microphone chamber, there. There's one there. And so you remember. Then this side is starting to separate here. And I'm just trying to... I have no idea which screws are which. But I am more... Alright, I don't know where this little piece goes. I can't seem to figure it out. It kind of seems like it might go here, like under this screw, so that's where I'm gonna stick it, I think. Alright, so all these parts are removed. I've got the 2 ribbon cables here, but obviously there's a lot more on this one than there is on that one, and I gotta switch out all the parts. So this I think is the IR light, which I will need to solder onto there. This is the, rotating wheel thing, which I don't have to solder. It's just got magnetic sensors, Hall effect sensors here and here. And so that just has some screws, I think. And then this big thing here, with all these, I believe it looks like it has its own little ribbon cable, and then that doesn't seem like that needs any soldering or anything either, just a ribbon cable. So I do have to solder the IR sensor back on though. Yep, alright. That has successfully been transferred. Because this is just unfair. There are little notches in the side of this ribbon cable, right where it wants to break. Just to, just like those easy tear bags you buy from Costco. Yeah, just a few extra notches to help you tear it. Yeah, if you do this all day and build these cameras, that's fucking crazy. This stuff's so small. Like, I don't even... This is way harder than fixing a smartphone. I mean, there's smartphones out there that are hard to repair, and you need all these specialized tools and stuff, but... I keep dropping the screw. There's so many... There's so many parts. There's so many parts. And all these ribbon cables that can't be flexed, and it's just awful. This is definitely got to be the hardest thing I've ever repaired. I've repaired some pretty small stuff before, And I'm by no means really good at it, but this is another level of complexity. Alright, so now I'm at this stage. I've got this back together with a non-broken ribbon cable. That took me about an hour. I've got this little piece I do have to put in that does something. So I guess I actually got to do that now. I kind of forgot that I had done that. I went to the bathroom and I was like, oh, I'm done. No, you're not done. Alright, that is fully seated. There. And that's it. That is what it takes to repair the microphone jack on an A7RII. Oh my god. That took 2 days. Well, it took basically one full day, like 6 to 8 hours. And then I started at 5:15 and it's now 8:15. So 3 hours today to finish up fixing it. So I can see why Sony repair sites bid this at like $500. It is a lot of work. Really terrible work. Really mind-numbing. I need a better seat. I'm gonna get that stool that's a little lower because my back hurts really bad. Oh, but let me just prove it works now. Hopefully the screen turns on, right? There it is. Come on, focus. Yeah, English. Wants me to set the date and time because I took out all the stuff, obviously. And this here that is what I have extra. A single screw. Oh yeah, and I still have no idea where this piece was meant to go. So I also have that. Alright, this is testing my camera. Microphone should be working. Should be able to hear me. That should be on your right. That should be on your left. Right. Left.